Imagine this. You're at a family gathering, surrounded by the laughter and chatter of loved ones. But for some reason, you feel disconnected. You cannot quite follow the conversation. The effort to put the words together leaves you exhausted and drained. You sit quietly nodding along. But deep down, there's an unsettling feeling, a sense of isolation. This is the reality for millions of people experiencing hearing loss. And the consequences go far beyond missing a few words in a conversation. Research has shown a strong connection between hearing loss and cognitive decline, including dementia. Today, we are diving deep into this critical yet often overlooked tragedy, how hearing loss impacts your brain health. We will explore the science, the challenges faced by individuals, and most importantly, what you can do about it. By the end of this episode, you'll have a clear understanding of why hearing health is critical for cognitive function, what happens to the brain when hearing loss goes untreated, the actionable steps you or a loved one can take to protect your hearing and your brain. So, whether you're listening in for yourself, a parent, or a friend, stick around. This might be one of the most important conversations that you hear today. This is the Dr. Wash Trains podcast. My name is Dr. Akash Sehgal. Let's dive in. Now, before we can understand the connection between hearing loss and cognitive decline, we need to start with the basics of how hearing actually works. The process of hearing begins when sound waves enter the ear and travel through the ear canal to the eardrum. This vibration is transferred to three tiny bones in the middle ear, the malleus, incus, and stapes, which, which amplify the sound and send it to the cochlea, a fluid filled, spiral shaped organ in the inner ear. Inside the cochlea are thousands of tiny hair cells, which move in response to sound vibrations. This movement creates electrical signals that travel via the auditory nerve to the brain, where they are interpreted as sound. Here is the key point now. Hearing is not just about the ears, it is about the brain. The auditory cortex, located in the temporal lobe, processes these signals, turning vibrations into meaningful sounds. It is how you recognize a loved one's voice or understand words in a noisy room. Now, when hearing loss occurs, especially over time, the brain has to work harder to make the sense of the incomplete auditory signals. This additional cognitive load is one of the reasons hearing loss is linked to cognitive decline. But but how exactly does this connection work? Let's explore. Now, you might be wondering, how can something as simple as hearing loss lead to something as serious as dementia? The answer lies in how interconnected our sensory systems and brain functions truly are. There are three main theories explaining this link. The first is increased cognitive load. When you have hearing loss, your brain must be working overtime to process all the sounds. This means fewer cognitive resources are available for memory, attention, and decision making. And over time, this can strain the brain, leading to faster cognitive decline. Then we have got brain atrophy. Studies using brain imaging have shown that untreated hearing loss accelerates shrinkage in areas of the brain responsible for sound processing. Since these areas also support other cognitive functions, their decline can have a ripple effect on overall brain health. Which brings in the third point, which is social isolation. Hearing loss often leads to withdrawal from social interactions. And when you reduce your engagement with others, your brain receives less stimulation. This lack of mental engagement is a known risk for dementia. To put it simply, untreated hearing loss does not just impact your ability to hear. It rewires how your brain works, often in ways that accelerate aging and cognitive decline. Now, let's shift our focus to those who have been living with hearing loss for years, perhaps even decades. If you or your loved one fall into this category, you might wonder, is it too late to do something? Can can cognitive function be retained or even restored? The good news is that it is never too late. Now, while advanced hearing loss presents unique challenges, there are effective strategies to protect and enhance brain health. Let's break everything down. First, let's talk about interventions that can help retain cognitive function and even reverse some of the effects of hearing loss on the brain. Now, if you've gone without a hearing device for years, the idea of starting now might feel overwhelming. But studies have shown that hearing aids and cochlear implants do not just improve hearing, they enhance brain function. Now, by restoring access to sound, these devices reduce the cognitive load on your brain, allowing it to focus on higher order tasks like memory and decision making. And research has shown that individuals who use hearing aids are significantly less likely to experience accelerated cognitive decline compared to those who do not. Now, auditory rehabilitation programs are structured therapies which are designed to retrain your brain to process sound more effectively. They often involve exercises that improve auditory discrimination, which means the ability to distinguish similar sounds and listening in noisy environments. The third is cognitive training exercises, which are beyond hearing specific therapies. They are they are brain exercises which can improve memory, attention, and problem solving skills. Applications and programs like Lumosity, Brain HQ, and similar others offer targeted training designed to enhance neuroplasticity. Then, lifestyle adjustments like regular physical activity, a balanced diet rich in antioxidants, and adequate sleep. All of them play a role in supporting cognitive health. Now, activities like meditation and mindfulness can also reduce the stress associated with hearing loss. Now, let's address a reality that many people with hearing loss face: social isolation. When hearing loss makes it difficult to follow conversations, especially in group settings, people often withdraw from social interactions. It might start with skipping a noisy family dinner or avoiding crowded events. Over time, this withdrawal can become habitual, leading to chronic isolation. But social isolation doesn't just affect your mood, it physically changes your brain. Studies have shown that reduced social interaction leads to decreased stimulation in the brain's neural networks. This lack of stimulation can shrink the hippocampus, the region which is responsible for memory and learning. It also impacts the default mode network, a system involved in self referential thinking and daydreaming, which means the whole cascade, the whole chain of thought that people have in their mind, it generally breaks that down. Now, social isolation increases the risk of depression and anxiety, both of which are independent risk factors for cognitive decline. It also diminishes emotional resilience, making it harder to cope with challenges, including those posed by hearing loss itself. The key takeaway: social connection is more than just a nice to have. It is essential for brain health. Now, all the chit chat and the chatter, trust me, it helps your brain grow. Over the years, many people with hearing loss develop their own coping mechanisms to manage through conversations. These might include lip reading, using contextual clues to guess words, and avoiding noisy environments altogether. Now, while these strategies can help in the short term, they may inadvertently contribute to cognitive decline by limiting the brain's exposure to sound. So, so what can be done instead? Start small. Join smaller gatherings where conversations are easier to follow. Use hearing aids or other assistive devices to stay engaged in group settings. Now, you will have to be your own advocate in gatherings and social meetings. Do not hesitate to ask friends and family to speak clearly or reduce background noise during conversations. Support groups provide a safe space to share experiences and learn from others who face similar challenges. Socializing with people who understand your journey can rebuild confidence and reduce feelings of isolation. The bottom line is this: advanced hearing loss does not have to define your cognitive future. With the right tools and strategies, you can not only retain your mental sharpness, but also rediscover the joy of connection and conversations. Now, we've talked about the impact of hearing loss on the brain and strategies to mitigate those effects. But, but what if you're not quite there yet? What if you're concerned about hearing loss and cognitive decline, but have not noticed any major issues? The key is identifying risk factors and early warning signs, because the sooner you address hearing loss, the better the outcomes for both your hearing and your brain. Now, let's start by looking at the groups of people most at risk of developing hearing loss and, by extension, cognitive decline. Now, hearing loss becomes more common as we age. In fact, nearly 1 in 3 people over the age of 65 experience some degree of hearing loss. Age related hearing loss or presbycusis is gradual and often goes unnoticed until significant damage has occurred. People with cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and hypertension are at a higher risk of hearing loss due to reduced blood flow to the auditory system. These conditions also increase the risk of cognitive decline, creating a double hit effect. Now, frequent exposure to loud sounds, whether through occupational hazards, concerts, or even headphones, can damage the tiny hair cells in the cochlea, leading to noise induced hearing loss. Now, this damage is cumulative. Smoking, poor diet, and lack of exercise have all been linked to higher rates of hearing loss and cognitive decline. And if hearing loss runs in your family, you may be genetically predisposed to it. Now, hearing loss often surprises people with its presence. It is easy to dismiss the early signs as unimportant, but these small changes can be the first indication of a bigger problem. There are some common early warning signs, and personally speaking, I would like you to watch out for your parents, for the elderly in your family, your friends. If anybody, is exhibiting these symptoms, please have them consult a healthcare professional. The early warning signs, like number one, the difficulty in following conversations in noisy environments. Now, if you find yourself struggling to keep up in restaurants or group settings, this could be an early sign of hearing loss. You're frequently asking people to repeat themselves. Like, can you say that again? This phrase, it might become a more common refrain than you realize. You keep turning up the volume on the TV or the radio. Now, if people around you start commenting that your devices are too loud, it is worth checking your hearing. Persistent ringing or buzzing, medically termed as tinnitus, which can indicate damage to the auditory system. You're feeling fatigued, tired after conversations because your brain works harder to process sound, and it can leave you feeling drained and mentally exhausted. Now, there are signs when hearing loss starts affecting your cognition. For example, you will have trouble concentrating. There will be difficulty focusing on tasks, especially when there's background noise. Then there will be a struggle to recall details from conversations or events, and it can be an early sign of both hearing loss and cognitive strain. Frustration, irritability, or even depression may develop as hearing challenges increase. Now, if any of these signs they sound familiar to you, it is time to take action. You need to schedule a hearing test with an audiologist. They can conduct a quick, painless evaluation to determine the extent of your hearing loss. Schedule a hearing test as soon as you can. Now, if you're noticing any cognitive symptoms coming up, talk to your doctor about a cognitive assessment. This can help identify potential issues early on. Now, even small lifestyle changes like reducing noise exposure, managing chronic conditions like diabetes, and maintaining a healthy diet can make a big difference. Remember, hearing loss and cognitive decline are not inevitable. By staying proactive and addressing issues early on, you can significantly improve your quality of life and long term brain health. We've touched on hearing aids, cochlear implants, and auditory rehabilitation earlier. But let's take a closer look at how these interventions work, not just for restoring sound, but also for promoting brain health. One of the most fascinating aspects of this discussion is brain plasticity, the ability of the brain to adapt, reorganize, and compensate when presented with new challenges or opportunities. Hearing interventions leverage this capacity to reshape the relationship between hearing and cognition. Let's start with the most common intervention, hearing aids. Hearing aids amplify sounds, making it easier to hear conversations, environmental noises, and even subtle cues like bird songs. But their benefits go beyond the obvious. With hearing aids, your brain does not have to work as hard to decode sounds. This frees up resources in the brain for memory, decision making, and other cognitive functions. Imagine you freeing up more RAM in your computer or your mobile phone to be able to handle more applications. Now, there have been studies using functional MRI scans that show that hearing aids restore activity in the auditory cortex, which often becomes underutilized during untreated hearing loss. And regular hearing aid use has been linked to slower rates of brain shrinkage in older adults, especially in regions responsible for sound processing and memory. Now, for individuals with severe or profound hearing loss, cochlear implants can be life changing. Unlike, unlike hearing aids, which amplify sound, cochlear implants bypass damaged parts of the ear to directly stimulate the auditory nerve. But the benefits do not stop there. Cochlear implants can restore the access to sound by delivering sound signals directly to the brain. They reintroduce auditory input, allowing the brain to re engage with its sound processing networks. Research shows that individuals who receive cochlear implants, even after years of profound hearing loss, experience a significant neural reorganization. This reactivation of dormant brain regions supports cognitive function and memory. It also improves communication as it also improves communication as cochlear implants help users re-engage in social settings, reducing isolation and its associated risks. Now, hearing aids and cochlear implants are powerful tools, but they work best when paired with auditory rehabilitation. Auditory rehabilitation focuses on retraining the brain to process sound efficiently. It comprises of listening exercises, which challenge the brain to distinguish between similar sounds, follow conversations in noisy environments, and identify subtle auditory cues. Speech language therapy is important for individuals who have experienced hearing loss for years. Speech therapy can help re establish clear communication patterns. Now, mindfulness based techniques train the brain to focus on specific sounds while ignoring distractions, and it can significantly improve auditory processing. Now, here is where things get really exciting. When you address hearing loss, you're not just restoring sound, you're triggering brain plasticity. Now, as the brain re engages with sound, it strengthens connections between the auditory cortex and other cognitive regions, such as those involved in memory and decision making. During untreated hearing loss, regions of the brain responsible for sound processing often get repurposed for other tasks, like visual processing. Hearing interventions can reverse this trend, restoring those areas to their original function. Now, by maintaining active auditory pathways, hearing interventions reduce the risk of downstream effects like dementia. Finally, let's not overlook the emotional and psychological benefits. Restoring hearing can rebuild confidence, as improved communication reduces the anxiety of social interactions. It, it can enhance the overall quality of life. Everyday activities, from enjoying music to chatting with loved ones, become more fulfilling. And also, it can foster independence. Better hearing allows individuals to stay engaged and self reliant in daily life. Hearing interventions are more than just devices or therapies. They are tools for rebuilding your connection to the world and safeguarding your brain health. While hearing aids, cochlear implants, and auditory rehab are powerful tools, they are not the whole story. Your daily habits, what you eat, how you move, and even how you sleep play a critical role in maintaining both your hearing and your brain health. Let's let's dive into the lifestyle factors that can help you protect your auditory system and keep your cognitive functions sharp. The saying you are what you eat applies to your ears as much as to any other part of your body. Nutritional deficiencies can impair hearing, while a balanced diet supports the structures and processes that keep your auditory system running smoothly. Found in fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, omega 3s improve blood flow to the inner ear and protect auditory hair cells from damage. Magnesium, which is present in spinach, nuts, and whole grains, magnesium helps shield the inner ear from noise induced damage by reducing oxidative stress. Zinc, which is found in foods like oysters and pumpkin seeds, support the immune system and may reduce the risk of ear infections that can lead to hearing loss. Antioxidants like vitamin C, vitamin E, and beta carotene combat free radical damage in the inner ear. Citrus fruits, carrots, and almonds are excellent sources. Now, low folate levels, folate or vitamin B9, they have been linked to age related hearing loss. Leafy greens, beans, and fortified cereals can help. Now, dehydration can reduce blood flow to the auditory system. So, staying well hydrated is essential. Aim for at least 8 glasses of water daily. Now, you might not associate your morning jog with better hearing, but physical activity plays a crucial role in maintaining auditory and cognitive health. Exercise increases blood circulation, ensuring that oxygen and nutrients reach the delicate structures of the inner ear. Physical activity helps control blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol levels, all of which are linked to hearing and cognitive decline. Now, exercise promotes the growth of new neurons and it strengthens neural connections, boosting both hearing and memory. Incorporate at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic activity per week, like brisk walking, cycling, swimming. Resistance training twice a week is also beneficial. Now, sleep is often overlooked when discussing hearing and brain health, but it is a very crucial factor. The auditory system works overtime during the day to process sounds. Sleep provides a vital recovery period, allowing your ears to reset and repair. Now, during sleep, the brain consolidates memories and processes new information, both of which are essential for cognitive resilience. Poor sleep can worsen tinnitus, creating a cycle of stress and disrupted rest. Prioritizing sleep can help break this cycle. Aim for at least 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night. Create a sleep friendly environment by reducing noise, keeping the room cool and dark, and avoiding screens before bed. Now, stress is not just bad for your heart, it can also wreak havoc on your ears. Chronic stress can constrict blood vessels, reducing blood flow to the cochlea. Stress can also increase the risk of tinnitus and exacerbate existing symptoms. If you hear a ringing sensation in your ear, if you constantly hear a bell in your ears, that is known as tinnitus. Stress also impairs memory and cognitive function, further compounding the challenges of hearing loss. Now, mindfulness based stress reduction has been shown to alleviate tinnitus and improve focus. And I will have a separate episode on MBSR soon. Now, simple practices like box breathing can calm the nervous system and enhance auditory focus. And as mentioned earlier, exercise is a proven stress reliever that also boosts hearing health. Now, your environment plays a huge role in hearing preservation. Noise induced hearing loss is one of the most preventable forms of auditory decline. You can employ protective measures by yourself to retain your hearing for a long time. You should use ear protection. Wear earplugs or noise cancelling headphones in loud environments, like concerts, for example. Now, I personally use the loop switch. Yes, they are expensive and they are a little difficult to use as well. But once when you get the hang of them, how you fit the ear tips, they are a game changer. You will never see me in any concert without them in my ears, no matter what. Follow the 60 by 60 rule when using headphones. Listen at no more than 60% volume for no more than 60 minutes at a time. Best use noise cancelling headphones. Reminder, not earphones. These headphones cancel out noise from the outside, and that allows you to listen to music or anything at a very comfortable listening volume, which is generally 30 to 40%. But again, it varies from person to person. Using the earplugs and the noise cancelling headphones, or even in general, I recommend you to reduce time spent in noisy settings whenever possible. Now, we've discussed how social isolation can lead to cognitive decline, but staying socially active can do the opposite. Conversations and group activities keep your brain engaged, stimulating regions which are responsible for memory, attention, and language. Regular social interaction reduces the risk of mood disorders that often accompany hearing loss. Make a point to join community activities, engage in hobbies, or simply call a friend regularly. Virtual connections can also be valuable if in person interactions are limited. Lifestyle choices might seem small in the moment. Every actionable step feels small at times, but their cumulative effect is profound. By, by prioritizing your diet, your exercise, sleep, managing your stress, and also your social engagements, you can significantly enhance both your hearing and your cognitive resilience. Now it's time to tackle some of the most pervasive myths about hearing loss and its connection to dementia. Misinformation can prevent people from seeking timely intervention or making proactive lifestyle changes. So let's set the record straight. Myth number one: hearing loss is just a normal part of aging and cannot be helped. Now, this myth is probably the most common and most dangerous. While age related hearing loss does become more prevalent as we grow older, it is not something you just have to live with. Hearing loss is treatable at almost any age. Early use of hearing aids, cochlear implants, or auditory therapy can make a significant difference in maintaining cognitive health. Ignoring hearing loss can accelerate cognitive decline, so addressing it is crucial for both hearing and brain function. Now, please do not wait for hearing loss to worsen. Regular hearing checkups should be part of your overall health routine, especially after the age of 50. Myth number two: hearing aids will make my hearing worse over time. Many people avoid hearing aids because they believe using them will further weaken their hearing. But this is completely unfounded. Hearing aids amplify sounds to a level that matches your hearing loss, helping your brain process sound naturally. In fact, prolonged untreated hearing loss is what can cause further auditory and cognitive decline, not the use of hearing aids. If you've been prescribed hearing aids, use them regularly. The more you use them, the better your brain adapts to processing amplified sounds. Myth number three: there is no link between hearing loss and dementia. Now, here's a myth that often downplays the serious implications of hearing loss. Now, while the exact mechanisms are still being studied, the connection between hearing loss and dementia is well documented. Studies have shown that individuals with untreated hearing loss are up to 5 times more likely to develop dementia than those with normal hearing. Hearing loss can lead to reduced auditory input, causing brain regions to shrink, a phenomenon known as cortical atrophy. Now, treat hearing loss early to reduce the cognitive burden on your brain. Think of it as an investment in long term brain health. Myth number four: if I can still hear some sounds, I do not need hearing aids. This myth often leads to delays in seeking treatment. People assume that because they're not entirely deaf, they do not need help. Even mild hearing loss can strain your brain, increasing the risk of cognitive decline. Remember, if you are struggling to hear in noisy environments or frequently asking people to repeat themselves, these are early warning signs that should not be ignored. If you suspect hearing issues, do not wait until it becomes severe. Early intervention with hearing aids or other therapies can preserve your auditory and cognitive health. Myth number five: hearing loss does not affect my mental health. This myth could not be further from the truth. The social and psychological impact of hearing loss is profound. Untreated hearing loss is linked to higher rates of depression, anxiety, and social withdrawal, which is caused by hearing difficulties. And hearing difficulties actually exacerbate cognitive decline by reducing mental stimulation and social interaction. Stay stay socially engaged and seek counseling or therapy if hearing loss is affecting your emotional well-being. Addressing hearing loss can help rebuild confidence and reconnect you to your social world. Now, debunking these myths is just the first step. When it comes to hearing loss and its connection to cognitive health, knowledge is power. Armed with the right information, you can make informed decisions that protect both your ears and your brain for years to come. In addition to medical breakthroughs, lifestyle and prevention remain key to maintaining both hearing and cognitive health. As our understanding of their interconnectedness grows, the focus is shifting towards early prevention rather than just treatment. Routine screening for hearing loss, especially in individuals above 50, could become a standard practice, just like checking blood pressure or cholesterol levels. Early intervention could not only protect hearing but also preserve cognitive function for much longer. As awareness of noise induced hearing loss grows, more people are taking steps to protect their ears. The rise of noise pollution in urban environments means that efforts to protect hearing, such as stricter regulations on workplace noise levels, greater availability of hearing protection, and public education campaigns, are more important than ever. Looking forward, there is so much more to explore. The integration of new technologies, the application of genetic insights, and the development of personalized treatments will continue to transform the landscape of hearing health and cognitive preservation. With advancements in hearing restoration, brain health monitoring, and neuroplasticity based therapies, the future of hearing and cognition holds great deal of promise. The most exciting part? We are likely just scratching the surface of whatever it is possible. Now, as I close today's episode, remember that hearing loss is not a condition you have to face alone. The science is evolving and the future is bright with possibilities. Take care of your hearing, protect your brain, and keep exploring the incredible potential of modern medicine. Thank you for joining us today. Stay tuned for more insightful episodes and take action today to ensure your hearing and cognitive health stays in the best shape possible. Now, if you enjoyed today's episode, do not forget to subscribe, share, and leave us a review. This has been another episode of the Dr. Washbrains podcast. My name is Dr. Akash Sehgal. Thank you for making health a dinner table conversation.